Listen, it is a great honor. It's always a great honor to introduce the great Clint Walker. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Mark, and I have to tell you, I always feel so honored and privileged to be on your show. And what a fantastic job you're doing, and what a fantastic book Liberty and Tyranny is. And boy, that should be in every classroom, so these kids really find out what the true history of this country is.
Well, that's really kind of you, my friend. I really appreciate it. Now, I wanted to ask you, I mean, you have a lot of basic common sense, so I wanted to ask you something. Have you ever seen anything like this before? I mean, you've seen a lot of presidents, you've known several presidents, you've campaigned for certain presidents. Have you ever seen anything like this, the effort to turn this country upside down so fast?
Absolutely nothing even close to it. And I'll tell you, it makes me very concerned. It's scary, and it also makes me angry.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what do you think about these politicians now, like Pelosi and so forth, attacking people who dare to voice their opinions?
Well, for one thing, it's very obvious that they betrayed that their trust in that vow that they took to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, both domestic and foreign. They've evidently turned their back on it. That vow that they took, is vaporized like a drop of water on a hot stove.
Now, by the way, may I tell everybody, you have a very healthy diet. In many ways, thanks to your wife, but even on your own. I mean, you only eat. Tell people what kind of diet you have.
Well, we have to take in consideration this whole world's not, what it used to be. We've sort of worn out the ground that we grow things in by trying to grow too much without putting anything back. And so a lot of our foods are deficient in the minerals that we need and the enzymes. But I would advise anybody who's really concerned about their health. I think it was a father of nutrition that said, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food, because that's where it begins. Eat plenty of fresh fruit. Don't cook it. Eat plenty of salads, fresh salads, rather than cooking all those vegetables. And get your stuff grown by people that are concerned about what they grow, and where they, we eat organically grown chicken and turkey. I really don't eat much in the way of beef. I don't eat pork at all. Keep a simple diet, and make sure you get those minerals and get those enzymes, because what you get in your food is better than what you're going to get in supplements for the most part. Keep it simple, but keep it healthy.
Now, you haven't, although I think you have for a long time eaten like this, but you didn't always eat like this, did you?
Oh, no, not always. I had to learn how to eat, and, and learn that there's a price to not eating properly. The body is a fantastic machine, but you've got to give it the raw materials that it needs to build with. Otherwise, things start to go wrong. And, if you, to that degree, you've got to become your own nutritionalist and your own doctor. And I mean that simply by, if you eat correctly to begin with, you exercise correctly, you try to keep a positive state of mind, get proper rest, those things come back to you in a very positive form, and in the form of good health and energy and those things that make life worthwhile.
And you have a wonderful website. tell everybody about your website and tell everybody the sort of things that are on it, because I've gotten things off your website. I mean, Cheyenne and the Dirty Dozen. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for the compliment, and I have to tell you, because you've mentioned my website, you've probably doubled my business.
Well, we want to quadruple it. Tell me what it is again.
And it's very simple, ClintWalker.com.
Well, you know, Clint, some jerk took my name, and so we have to have MarkLevinShow.com. And this jerk wanted $1 million to give me my name back, and you can imagine what I told him.
Oh, boy, yeah, they'll do that. They'll do that. It's kind of a scary proposition if you forget to, pay out that fee it takes to keep that registered in your name. So I have ClintWalker.com, .org, and .net.
See, that's smart, but, you know, you've been famous a long time. I haven't been in radio that long, to be perfectly honest with you. Let me ask you. Go ahead.
I'll tell you, what I've done doesn't even come close to what you've accomplished in the time that you've been on the air and what.
Don't say that. Don't say. Let me tell you something. Last night, guess what I watched last night? Guess. You're in it. My favorite movie. Guess what I watched?
I have no idea.
It's The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, that was quite a movie. It became a classic, and I think one of the big reasons why, not only did we have a lot of big names in it, but it made fun out of the brass, out of the guys that, think they have all the answers and go around telling everybody else what to do. And sometimes they're right, but sometimes they're not. And especially these days, the people that are supposed to be looking out for our welfare seem to be far more concerned for them, the party, and the big moneyed interests that finance their elections. And I call those politicians, I call the men that go in there with the intention of being a good patriot and doing what's good for the country and fighting for it if necessary. Those are the statesmen, and we have very few of them.
That's true, but when I was watching that lineup, at the beginning and the end, I realized how many really great actors we've lost over the years,
A lot of them.
I mean, there really aren't all, excuse me,